called shaking medicine. We have everybody here. Who's here? Oh no, Marco's coming late. There's more room here on this couch. Shallow doesn't need the whole couch to himself. So there's another spot on the couch. Yeah. We're going to do a little bit of circle work here while the Blue Lotus goddess is preparing the potion. Yeah, this is an actual practice. Helps with alignment. Helps with moving stuff around. The shape go through your whole 8 levels. Wow. Some people do this for an hour of the practice. Yeah, just an hour. Yeah. You can go places. You can go places. Believe it or not, you can go places and actually pay to do this for an hour. Yeah, people do it. That's how a wonderful world it is. Oh, wonderful. My gosh. All right. So, remember the clearing pose? I showed you the clearing pose, didn't I? Yes, Sarah's got it. Clearing the energy, send it into the elements, earth, water, wind, and fire. Something's going up, but something's going down. Don't get ungrounded doing this. It's a sense of release. When your field is kind of a conduit being cleared. And then let's come into the Ka pose. It's also adding a sense of levity to counter gravity. Counter gravity and the graveness of life. So it's getting into your Ka body, your energetic body, life force. And then you can start to rotate your arms, moving towards the downward position, but just going slowly and feeling throughout your whole being the different qualities of energy as you do this. See what power you have in your arms, the angles and gestures. I'll release that, and we'll do the eye gestures. So one arm going up, one arm going down, equally balanced. Something's going up, something's going down. And then switch sides. Just going slower pace than normal so you can really let your brain experience the different qualities with different gestures. Actually helps the brain, the neurology, which needs to be stimulated in the right ways so it can act as an interface to the subtle realms. Switching again. You can, with your awareness, feel the two different poles. So you can move your awareness up to your hand above. Feel that. With your awareness, move it down. Experience more of the lower hand, which sometimes kind of gets left out. Where awareness goes, energy flows. Switch one more time. Of course, when you're at home alone, you can do this at your own pace, as long as you want. Really entrain yourself. Imprint this ultimate pose of verticality. We're doing it as a physical gesture, but of course you can feel the energetic gesture. And then it also has its astral component of the Ba body. And then the Ku, which is the body we're working with to give uprightness to spiritually. And dropping the arms, engaging now with micro movements, which means just swaying gently back and forth, round and round. Just feel how that ripples throughout your whole organism. And then moving into a seated position, meditative position, continuing with the micro movements. I love starting off meditation with micro movements, as it automatically, right from the start, has you engaged, keeps you engaged, keeps the mind engaged, paying attention. And see how the micro movements help you actually find the ever quest for perfect posture and verticality. The micro movements will actually support that. Just allowing any physical movements to take place. To bring about adjustments and corrections. Could be shifting your head on top of your neck. Could be doing a chin tuck, pulling your chin in. Could be rounding your shoulders up and back to open the chest area. Could be an adjustment in how you hold your abdomen, your belly. Could be how you hold your legs. You want there to be no crimp in the flow. And awareness in the heart. Everything begins and ends with the heart. Feeling the center of centers. And then moving awareness up to the nostrils. Some nostril breathing. Feeling the friction and warmth. If your nose is stuffed, this is a good time to kind of demand that you just breathe through your nose. Often that'll clear it. Just allowing some of the electric, energetic flow to go in and out can be the very thing to clear the nostril passages and sinuses. Then we'll do a few rounds of the transmutation breath. We're going to do a sharp inhalation through the nose, up through the nose bone into the head. At the same time doing the root bandha. That's contracting the anal sphincter muscles, discovered by none other than Dr. Sphincter. So starting with an exhalation. Sharp inhalation. Up into the head. Root contraction, holding, inner smile, outer smile. And then a little sniff in to unlatch. Exhaling through pursed lips. And releasing the root lock. A little bit of dead time at the end, holding the air out. Looking forward to another round. And right up into the head. Locking, holding, smiling. A little sniff to unlatch. Pursed lips. Dead time. Building that sense of a vacuum. And holding, enjoying, building your iron shirt, as they call it in Kung Fu. Sniff and release. And letting go of the practice. Just returning to normal breath with awareness in the forehead, between the brows, nostril breathing. And let's put awareness now up through the head, through the crown, finding a nodal point above the head, just to rest your awareness. A relaxed but active engagement of awareness above the head. And to help amplify that, we can do the Egyptian power pose number 1, raising the open palms up, facing upward at waist height. Arms straight forward, parallel to the ground. Receptive, magnetic. Also a sense of gratitude in the heart, sense of devotion to the higher powers that we have the privilege to engage with. Looking forward to the receiving of Blue Lotus, entheogen, and bringing the hands together, tips of the fingers touching somewhere in front of the heart, larynx area. Just a gentle holding together, sensing the space between the palms of the hands. And bringing the heels of the hands together while holding that heart space. Separating the heels again. If you do this on your own for a while, you can really set up kind of a rhythmic pulsing, sort of like the heart in slow motion. Bringing the heels back together again. Now we're going to add another gesture, keeping the heels together, separating the fingers and opening up that inner space as if they are petals of a flower. And our blue lotus tea goddess is going to put a cup into your hand as you hold it.
Just to have everyone wait to drink it out the turkey.
Right, yes, just to hold it. Can you put it into their hands? Yeah, hold it, but don't drink it. Yeah, you don't really need to hold it by the handle. If you can, if it's not too hot, try to hold it with the gesture that you were doing. Your hands open like a flower.
Now, focus in front of you, starting to connect to the energy of the sacred flower. The energy of this flower in each of us. So just really take in color, smell, and texture. Feeling the warmth in your hands. As we begin our journey today, I invite you to think of something that you are wanting to call into your life. If you were able to imagine having no restrictions and no blockages, connecting to your own internal power, what is it that you would like to invite in, or an intention that you would like to set for your life moving forward? So holding this intention, feel it in your heart. And then with our breath, we're going to bring this intention up to our third eye. So we begin by taking a deep inhale together. And then on the exhale, feel this intention move up from your heart to your third eye. Brow in your third eye, imagine a bud of a lotus flower beginning to bloom. We can take 2 more breaths down deep into our belly and bring this energy up into the third eye, watching that flower bloom with our intention. So deep breath in, deep breath, pulling that energy upwards. One more deep breath in. Yeah. Bring your attention up into your third eye. And feeling yourself grounded into the earth, open to the heavens above you, in a receptive state. allowing yourself to welcome whatever messages or messengers appear for you this evening. I'd like for you to take this intention or this wish or this desire into your breath now. We're going to breathe it into our mug 3 times. This breath. And we'll just blow it right into the middle of the Blue Lotus. Deep breath. And one last breath. Taking this wish and this desire, and infusing your mind. Whenever you're ready, you can slowly bring the mug up to your lips and take a deep sip. Pay attention to the feeling of the warm water going down your throat, the taste. Does it feel bitter or sweet to you? Just continue to hold this intention as you sit with the tea.
You continue to drink the tea. Let it work its magical ancient Egyptian spell upon you. It's going to give us some time to work upon you. And in a little bit, Liz will again lead us into the next phase of the journey. But in the meantime, as we're doing things a little bit differently this evening than our usual order of service, I'll take this little window of time to reflect upon the next of our 7 phases of alchemy. And in fact, our last, not our last look at the phases of alchemy, but the last one on our list. And this overall gesture of solve e coagula, meaning to dissolve and then coagulate. And you notice this solve really applies more to the ones above, calcinating, reducing to ashes, dissolving something, separation, and then moves increasingly towards the other end of the spectrum, coagula, this state of something being coagulated. And perhaps you can think of examples of that. Does something come to mind for you when you hear the word coagulation?
Blood clotting.
Mm-hmm.
But what is that? What comes out of you? I just know the term coagulate goes with blood, but I don't know what that looks like, what that means.
What does coagulation mean?
In blood,
Alchemy?
in blood, it's clotting. Coagulates, right? It starts to stiffen up. Jello would be coagulating as it's drawn.
Another example, Jello,
Paint, yeah.
paint. All liquids that come into a state of union, join together. Yeah, blood can coagulate, clot in the body, but we also see coagulation of it that moves out of the body on a surface. Same with mercury, or even water itself can coagulate into one drop, little drops joining together and coagulating.
What about like egg yolks? Egg yolk. That coagulation. They're already coagulated.
Yeah, they do seem already coagulated, don't they? That's interesting.
Yep.
Yes.
Cement? Aggregate?
Right. That becomes concrete.
Mhm.
It's kind of a sense of coagulation. Keep drinking up, by the way.
What is this?
Magic.
No, it's not.
You'll find out in 3 to 6 times.
Is it?
No,
56?
I
How long?
30 minutes. I already feel it, but everyone's sensitivity is different.
So it's actually showing kind of the ultimate state of being. That all these others are working towards. And it can be cyclical because you can get to a state of coagulation and then have to have it all broken down again and then build it up again to what the alchemists referred to as the ultima materia. Ultima materia, or the ultimate material. What is the ultimate material, you might ask? Gold is a metaphor also for the ultima materia, the ultimate state of being, which was also referred to by the ancient alchemists as the philosopher's stone. Who's not heard of the philosopher's stone? You Harry Potter fans?
Okay, I have no idea.
Is the philosopher's stone a stone, though? Or is it cryptic language to keep something hidden, something secret from the profane minds of those that are not prepared to know the inner secrets of alchemy? But in a way, we could say that that is the ultimate aim of the alchemist, to produce the philosopher's stone, this ultima materia. And we might also say that it has something to do with what's on this side of the board, the 8 different states of being, the 8 levels of being. That these phases of alchemy are working with the 8 levels of being to bring them into a higher state, an ultimate state that is not a stone, concrete, or gold. These are just earthly metaphors for something we're trying to achieve spiritually. But if we think of it as working with these different parts of our being that have yet to be developed and have yet to be integrated, we can now add number 7 to our list that will be helpful in seeing something else that's added to what we are. And to our Sekhem, is our power. The ancient Egyptians really saw this as a separate level of our being, our capacity for power, or not. How much power do we manifest, or not? Within all these tiers of having a physical body, an energetic body, a soul, spirit, a heart, as the central vessel to hold our being and to connect on both sides of the threshold and to be guided from above, if it can, and to work with the unconscious parts of ourselves, known as the shadow, which in fact can be hiding what's beyond it, which is our power. We need to understand the shadow isn't something negative, bad, or evil. It's just that which is unconscious. And often in its unconsciousness gets projected onto the world unconsciously. But it's showing us something of ourselves, and often really our untapped power. And so I wanted to put that on now, just a little bit introducing it, and we'll go further into it later. But to have that in our thinking as we go into our Blue Lotus journey that Liz is going to lead us in a moment. So everybody finish with the libation, imbibing the libation.
Is it, I have a question, is it, Liz, is it necessary to get the whole effect to drink the entire,
I feel more than like drinks, so
do you feel more than what you drink?
Yeah. recommend having as much of it as you can so that you can put it full.
It's okay to eat the flour, right?
You can, I don't know, but the middle part might be kind of hard, but
It's already done.
yeah, it's, we might start spreading while we're here. Though.
It didn't taste much. It's just flour.
Do you feel it's time yet? Or do you want to speak?
Yeah, does anyone have any questions about the Blue Lotus? I know I shared an intro last week. Some people weren't here. If anyone has any questions or would like me to share a little bit of information with you too. So one thing I will say is to also remove any expectation that you might have of what this experience might be and what you might feel with the Blue Lotus. Again, it may be quite subtle for some people. It affects everybody differently. You might be quite sensitive to it. It won't cause you any harm. And it's here to bring us all into this unified vibration to allow us to journey together. So know that the Blue Lotus is here to assist you, and the true power comes from within us. The Lotus is just helping us get there.
Culturally, how would they be drinking this? I know you said with wine, but
Yes.
is that something it's done very occasionally, or is it how they would always drink it?
So they would use the Blue Lotus in, like, it would be used for food, for perfume, for medicine, for rituals. So typically, my understanding is in the temples that they would infuse wine with the Blue Lotus and they would imbibe it that way. That was the most traditional use. But yeah, also served as a tea. You can also smoke Blue Lotus. There's many different ways to.
So you could drink the wine in the temple?
That's my understanding is that's what they.
Yeah, they were in some of these ancient cultures, they were using substances such as alcohol and plant medicines to activate the initiates for to undergo
Right,
initiations, which could last for several days.
right.
Some of these things would put people into a state, a different state of consciousness for a couple of days. Yeah, I'll talk about that more later. But yeah, this was used for initiation circumstances, and that's why we're doing it. This is something of a mini initiation that Liz is going to guide us on.
After this, you will all be initiates of my Blue Lotus cult.
Yeah.
Okay, ready to start?
Yeah, so now if people want to sit up or lie down, you have that option. There's places, so you decide, but it's quite fine to sit up. If you're looking for a place to lie down, there is even over in the kitchen area. Get yourself a cushion. We'll give you a couple of minutes here to just
Anyone wants to
get settled.
couch, I can stand.
You good? Yeah, you can diagnose yourself. Pick your
Are you gonna
blood
stay
then.
there?
Make sure you're comfortable. You can stretch your legs out and put your head down. It's best if you're not touching other people. Try to be in a way that you're not
Okay, look, okay, just
touching somebody else.
never mind. It is good. That's
There's room behind the kitchen table too, if you're wanting to go there.
Relax.
Yeah, you want to be completely relaxed so you can go deep.
These little Blue Lotus babies, everything. Okay. I want you all to settle in to your spot. Taking a deep breath in. Down. You begin to relax your body, releasing any tension from your day, leaving anything that might have happened today, any stresses in your mind, leaving them behind. Let yourself begin to relax your shoulders, unclench your jaw, Let your head sink a little bit deeper to the surface behind you. Releasing any tension in your arms, down your shoulders, your elbows, out your fingertips. Loosening your hips, your spine, letting it sink deeper into the ground or the seat beneath you. Your legs relaxing, your knees, your ankles, your toes. Let any of this energy go out of the bottoms of your feet, sending it back down to the earth. I want you to imagine at the bottoms of your feet 2 sets of serpents. One set of black and white serpents. And the same at the other foot. The dark serpent, dark like the void. The other serpent made of golden white light. If the images of the serpents don't resonate with you, you can imagine anything else. Vines, strands of DNA like a helix. Note that anything I say on this journey is a suggestion, and just that. Your brain wants to take you, or your heart wants to guide you to another place. I invite you to follow your own inner guidance first. So come back to the bottoms of our feet. We're going to feel these 2 serpents slowly begin to coil around our feet, our ankles, going up through the base of our feet. Slowly make their way up, swirling around each other. The dark serpent clearing away any energy that your body is ready to release. The light serpent bringing in golden white light, grounding, clearing, healing energy. Begin to go up your legs, past your knees, up your thighs. The one serpent grounding and clearing, the other one bringing in golden white healing energy. And when these serpents meet down at the base of our spine, they're going to combine into 2 serpents total. Up the left side, the dark serpent, the void, shadow serpent. And on the right, golden white light serpent. Here at our root, serpents are slowly going to begin to clear away anything that's blocking your root chakra. Your feeling of home, of safety, anything that blocks you in your connection to the earth. Clearing away any circumstance or feelings you might have. And bringing in golden white light, making you feel grounded, rooted, and safe. From here, the serpents begin to make their way up into your lower belly, your sexual organs, into the sacral chakra. As they leave the root, where we see golden ochre, red light, up towards our sacral, this light begins to turn orange, slowly glowing and expanding. Serpents make their way around this energy center, clearing away anything that blocks us in our creativity, blocks our life force energy, keeps us disconnected from our own sensuality, sexual power. golden white serpent, bringing in this golden healing energy. Making you feel open, creative, connected. Serpents slowly start to continue their journey upward into our solar plexus, middle of our rib cage. See a yellow light beginning to slowly unfold, to open and expand, surround us. Perhaps you see a golden pyramid forming up from the top of your head, at the bottoms of your feet. Solar plexus is the center of power. The dark serpent clearing away anything that blocks us from accessing and knowing our true and full power. This golden serpent coming in, filling us with our own inner authority, reminding us of our strength and our own spiritual fortitude. Serpents continue moving their way up through these pillars, this golden pyramid, up to our heart center, to the threshold. Here we feel a green light, perhaps just above it in our higher heart, glowing pink light as well. I want you to feel this dark serpent starting to clear away any energy that's stuck in your heart. I want you to hold in your mind the image of the heart and the feather ritual. Scales of justice. If you were to take your heart in this moment, weigh it against a feather, which would be lighter and which would be heavier? Allow this dark serpent to start to swirl itself around, eating away at anything that might be weighing your heart down. And this golden white serpent, now with feathers on its back, wings, clearing this energy away, bringing in lightness. As we continue up, serpents move up towards our throat chakra. For that, they make their way down each of our arms, splitting off into two pairs again, going down to the tips of our fingers, clearing away any stuck energy that stops us from taking action, using our hands to do things in the world, swirling this golden white light back up towards our center. And here the two serpents, which have now joined again, begin to work their way up through your throat chakra, feeling a blue light pinpoint in the middle of your throat, slowly begins to grow. Dark serpent clearing away anything that stops you from speaking your truth, from using your voice, from speaking your power. This golden white serpent swirling through, healing and clearing any blockages, bringing in the sweetness of your voice, the ability to communicate your truth to the world. The serpents continue upwards, up towards your third eye. And in this place, I want you to imagine a royal blue sapphire where your third eye is, in the middle of your brows. Feel the sapphire slowly begin to glow, wider and wider, surrounding you with this indigo light. And from the middle of the sapphire, that blue lotus that we connected to earlier begins to open itself. Blue. Dark serpent makes its way up the third eye chakra. Feel the blue lotus close, allowing the serpent to clear away anything that blocks you from accessing your intuition, truly seeing. As the golden serpent makes its way around, the lotus begins to bloom again, as if it's the light of the sun, inviting you to step into the full bloom of your own inner knowing. Serpents continue to make their way up to the crown of your head. Here you feel the dark serpent swirling its way around. An orb of purple light begins to glow out of the crown of your head. This dark serpent clearing away any connection to spirit, to source, any blockages that you've had to a higher power, to your higher selves. Eating away at these blockages, golden white serpent begins to swirl around, flooding your crown with golden white light, bringing in this energy and vibration of pure healing, connecting you back to source, back to the void, cosmic mother. Feel the serpents moving, making their way up. Again, going from the bottoms of your feet, up and around each part of your body, rounding and clearing. And then they go out of the crown of your head and return back to source. I want you to come back to this blue lotus at your third eye. Slowly opening and closing. Here, I want you to imagine yourself walking through the desert. Pyramids behind you. Begin to make your way down to the Nile River. Pay close attention to your surroundings. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? As you continue to make your way down, you see a figure waiting for you at the bottom of the river. Lining the river are hundreds, thousands of brilliant blue lotuses, opening, closing, and beckoning you. As you make your way to the edge of the river, You're greeted by Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the underworld. And he says to you, I invite you to join me in this river, to consider the lightness of your own heart, and what's ready to be released. He turns his back to you and invites you to strip yourself of all of your worldly possessions. You slowly begin to remove anything that might be weighing you down on your physical self. Perhaps your clothing, your jewelry, anything you might be carrying in your hands, any connection you have to this physical world. You place these objects in a basket next to the river. And know that you're welcome to come back and pick them back up when you're done. You still feel that you want to. Anubis waits for you at the foot of a rowboat. It's adorned with gold and lined with the most luxurious royal blue velvet. You go into this boat, you lay back. Anubis begins to steer the boat, taking you deeper and deeper into the reeds. As he stops the boat, gives you a knowing look, and invites you to lay down in the reeds. Just before he takes you into the underworld. Out. Here within the reeds, you feel yourself surrounded by jackals. They're not dangerous. You know that you are safe. As you close your eyes, allowing yourself to be held by the river and the reeds, Anubis asks you, what is weighing your heart down? What are you ready to let go of? What is it that's holding you back from fully stepping into your true power? And are you ready to go through this initiation? Like the serpents that aided us, preparing us for this journey. You know that when we face our shadows, when we release the blockages that are holding us back, they must be replaced with something else. And when we want to fill ourselves with that golden white light of healing, we must first empty our vessels, prepare for this energy to come in. Slowly, you feel yourself giving to the earth, to the river, to the reeds, to the jackals, allowing them to eat and consume any old parts of you, any outdated versions of yourself. Allow them to show you and release the part of you that you're ready to let die, that you know can't come into the afterworld with you, that served its purpose. It's time to go. Moment to really sit with this. Feel what's being released. You're wrestling the reeds around you. Jackals dissipating, having had their fill. Bring into the center of your chest, weight of your heart. Bring in yourself. Feeling lighter? Does it feel lighter than a feather? Is there anything else that needs to be released before we move on? So, I invite you to release it now. Slowly you see a break in the reeds. Anubis arrives again. He invites you back into this blue velvet lined boat. You crawl in, back up out of the underworld, feeling yourself reborn, just like the blue lotus opens and rises to meet the sun each morning. Feel the warmth of the sun above you, warming your skin, soothing you, connecting you back to your own internal power. What does this new version of you, what do they feel like? Do they look like? How would they think? How would they talk? How will you carry yourself through the world? Perhaps lighter, more sure of yourself. The boat moves through the reeds, back towards the shore. Feel yourself coming closer, closer, back to civilization. Slowly the boat begins to touch land again. Step out of the boat. See all of the jackals coming towards the shore. Bow to Anubis, thanking him, thanking the jackals. Taking away and transforming the parts of you that were ready to be let go. Here you see the basket full of your belongings that you left earlier. I want you to go to that basket and look through what's in there. Still need these things? Are you ready to let them go as well? If there's anything that you'd like to keep, I welcome you to put it back on, to pick it back up. And anything that you no longer need, give it to the jackals. Imagine yourself in bright new clothes, perhaps long robes, whatever you would like to adorn your new, powerful version of yourself with. Slowly, begin to make your way back. Back through the desert, back through the pyramids, through time, and into this present moment. Feeling yourself slowly coming back into the room. It's beautiful loft space. Coming back into your body. Notice how it feels for you now. Does it feel lighter? Does it feel more clear? Returning to this blue lotus at your third eye, at your brow. Feeling it slowly begin to close. And know that the journey you went on today, power that you connected to, this frequency, the blue lotus, and this healing energy that it brings, is something that exists within you, that you can come back to and access at any time, with or without the blue lotus. That as the flower closes, just like the lotus flower itself, it will bloom and open again. Each time you call upon this energy. So feeling yourself back to the room. Beginning to wiggle your fingers, your toes, moving your head back and forth.
To come back for this next phase, you're going to get some paper and either journal or draw with the crayons that we have here, pencil crayons, some element of your journey that you bring back from the other world, the other side of the threshold. Just taking your time, but moving that direction to the record of something that you experienced in the journey to visit Anubis. And to see what's revealed in this kind of vision quest state. And I hope it was powerful for you because we are accessing other parts of our being and crossing the threshold and doing these sorts of things to develop our power, really, the Sekhem, to develop our power because in some ways we're still quite powerless as the beings that we are designed to be. So, yeah, before we start the go around, is there any immediate questions or concerns anybody had that needs to be addressed, or can we just start with the go round? This time, let's start with across the circle from me and not one of these directions.
Great.
How about that? Good with that? Good. Christian.
Are we just sharing about our experience?
Yes, please.
My name's Christian, and through that experience, I was able to release something that has been coming up a lot this past week. I was working with a mentor of mine who took me through like a series of an inquiry into what my purpose was and to what was most important to me at this moment in my life, and became very evident that music is very important, which I've been kind of avoiding for a long time. At one point in my life, I was putting a lot of energy into music, and it's kind of been on the back burner for a little while. And so in that experience, I was able to release some of the various beliefs and patterns and thoughts attributed to kind of having pushed it away. And I guess there were some other things I went into as well, but that was the main one. So it was, and then I also drew a card from the deck, which was talking about something that has kind of been pushed out of my life is now reemerging, and so that was very fitting. So,
Yeah, right. Inner outer, yeah, the deck working with the synchronicity of inner outer. Great, thank you, Christian. Yeah. Why don't we go popcorn style tonight? Somebody may be inspired to jump in right on top of that.
I can go, yeah. I thank you, Christian. Amit. Thank you, Liz. That was very powerful and beautiful, really. It definitely I resonate with what Christian was saying. It definitely gave me a clear sense and paths to move forward, and really the black serpent was able to do its job and eat away some of the baggages or the dark parts, but there's work to be done.
That's great. So a sense of exercising power, I suppose.
Yeah, I picked up a deck, and I was thinking of how much this journey has made me lose certain and shed certain parts of me, some that I didn't want to, but and
The journey with the Blue Lotus, you're saying?
oh no, I mean to what
Life, okay.
what I was going through in the journey. Yeah, I was going through the emotions of losing all of these um shedding all of these things that I really I'm holding on to, but at the same time, I was feeling a sense of loss, and I've been thinking about abundance, and I got the card out, and it was for abundance. Um, so it was very reassuring.
Okay, abundance. Okay, who's next?
Thank you for sharing. And thank you, Liz, for that journey, the imagery in your journey was very vivid. And I was imagining myself standing in front, like standing on the Nile. And then I don't know what Jekyll's look like really, but I think that this is what Jekyll's looks like. So I saw a couple of Jekylls like right next to like the Nile, and this is like the grass and everything. So it was like, and then I saw this, like I saw the Blue Lotus, that vision, right, of the, of the bright yellow center, and then the spreading light around it. Yeah, so it was very vivid for me, and was kind of remembering empathy with nature, like how we were learning about one of Jesse's courses about animals and their meaning. I'm not quite sure what the Jekyll means to me. In my vision, I guess, contemplating on light, and because I saw so much dark imagery, that centerpiece, that center spot of the Blue Lotus light that was coming. It's powerful for me. Yeah, and I just had visions. Like for me, it was like visions of abundance, visions of connection, and yeah, I was just telling some of you I participated in this Kundalini 3-hour ceremony this weekend. I think it like activated something in me. Like I was really called to do this, to like activate this for myself. And yeah, and I actually, it was interesting. I pulled out the ISIS card I pulled out was Portal of Light. So I was just kind of looking at my picture. I was like the portal of light, like I'm like, universe is speaking to me. Okay. Blue Lotus. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you.
I thought it was kind of synchronistic during the journey. There was a dog barking down the hall, which doesn't happen very often, but just happened at that time, started in the middle. And I was thinking, oh, at first I thought, oh no, and then I thought, oh yes. Like we're talking about visiting a jackal, which is a dog, and we're hearing this dog barking in the background.
You could feel them all around us.
Yeah.
Special effects.
Else?
You can go.
So my experience was I was lying down, and it was very vivid to begin with, and then I feel like I went into a subconscious or an unconscious state for like the majority of the middle, went in and out a little bit of that. But I really felt it working its magic on me, and even just that upon reflection is powerful for me because especially like as a younger child, if anyone's ever been to one of those kind of stage hypnotist scenarios where they get a bunch of people up on stage and then they make them do silly things. I always had unbelievable amounts of resistance to anything like that, specifically because I was terrified about being on display in this act of like extreme letting go. It was amazing to me that anybody would consent to that. It's amazing. Sorry? Like stage hypnosis, where it's like performative, especially now tapping in and tuning into like how kind of sacred that those kind of other states of vibration like really are. I think that I was always kind of aware of that, and I didn't take it. I didn't see it as like a joke.
Mhm.
And then, but for me to be able to just let go in a space like this just is just so indicative of how safe this space is created to be. At the end of the experience, I heard, I channeled the message, and it was very simple. It was just welcome home, which I thought was really beautiful. There was no, it was, yeah. And then the last thing, I pulled the ISIS card, and it was, I can't remember exactly, but essentially, I think the word talisman, and related to imbuing an object with an intention or a purpose, which we kind of did with the tea, but it's essentially said to clear an object like a stone or something along those lines, and then allow it to hold this purpose. And then it, in the description of like kind of the instructions of how to do that, it said even like to include like every hour of the day, like to be continuously in the state of recreating that purpose. And I tried that out with this piece of paper. um, Not sure if I'm going to read it. But essentially, yeah, I will. Mhm. Sure.
Give us a couple lines.
Well, in this one. So I first cleared the paper. You are cleared of all darkness. You are divine light, sacred paper. You are asked to assist us in following the intention created for you, the intention of bringing artistic abundance and prosperity to all those who we meet. This is your task for every hour. If you will honor this request, you will be continuously blessed with tender love, ease, and fulfillment. Yours forever in love, gratitude, and harmonious partnership. Basil the poet.
Curious if anyone had like a really visceral sense of what the jackals were eating away, or like what you let go of, or what you were, if it connected back to maybe the intention that you set when you first drank the Blue Lotus tea, or what you were calling in.
Yeah, I did. Visceral and yeah, energetic weight lifted because I find working with the classical medicine, it connects the thread. So it connected me to my mushroom ceremony 2 weeks ago, which connected me to my ayahuasca sessions from 10 years ago. And some of the sense of shame of unconsciously knowing I hadn't completed my homework from 10 years ago. And now I'm working on it very intensely, getting ready for the kind of the bookend mushroom ceremony, which you're going to be doing around the middle of March. But that booked with the medicine woman. So it's like, yeah, really pushing myself in a new direction and realizing I don't need that shame as kind of a marker of something that's undone, that's being left undone. And so yeah, it was great to say, hey, I don't need that marker there anymore. I'm working on the homework.
Amazing.
I can go. So, yeah, I want to say thank you for holding such a beautiful ceremony. I was really worried I was going to miss it today because I got a job out in Hamilton and I was supposed to finish at like 3:30, and then they added this thing that they wanted me to do, but it was like 3 hours later. So I was waiting around the whole time, and I thought maybe even if it came at like 7:30, I would miss it, but I was happy to see that either. I just came right on time where you waited. I'm not really sure because I texted you that I was going to be late, so thank you. And yeah, and I remember the beginning of what you were sharing with the black and gold snakes, and that was really visceral. I really felt that energy moving through my body, and then I just kind of solidity. I just like blacked out. It felt like I just fell asleep. And I felt this heaviness I've been kind of carrying the last like nine or so months, just kind of rising, and then my eye sockets felt really, really sweaty and heavy. And I just felt like everything kind of being like pushed out of here. And realizing like, how tired I've been the last little bit, and just kind of it helped me work through some of that weight that I've been carrying. And at the end, what came through was a blue lotus, which was kind of like the sun that was illuminating this valley, and creating a laser beam down the middle of the valley. But it's kind of reflecting like these mountains are. You can kind of see the blue light hitting the sides of the mountains, and it's just like illuminating this like razor sharp path. And the words that I was getting was laser focus. And I've just been dealing with the situation that's kind of been on my mind quite a bit, but I'm seeing it through, and I'm letting it transform and evolve rather than just completely cutting it out of my life. I think there's a lot of lessons to learn from it. They're ongoing, and I kind of like it. It's also really hard at the same time. And every time I'm like, I'm gonna let it go, and then all of a sudden it brings so much more light and so much like such powerful insights into my life. But I need to navigate it really, really carefully. And I think this is something like being laser focused and having like a really, really specific goal, or like knowing where I'm going, but maintaining boundaries, like really strict boundaries around it at the same time. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank yourself.
I'll go. Yeah, the ceremony was very interesting. I'd never really gone into a dream-like state like that so easily and so quickly. And because it was dreamlike, I feel like a lot of this sort of many things got lost. Like I almost never remember any of my night dreams. So I think I was very much in the journey in a way. much more focused. Usually my mind is jumping around, sometimes literally having multiple thoughts at the same time. Um, but yeah, seem to be able to maintain focus on it, but not too much is remembered. Yeah, just sort of being carried through it was really interesting. Yeah. On an unrelated note, there was a moment this week where all of a sudden I could just feel my third eye, and uh all the places I hid my keys in the week just came to me like one after the other. I could just see the image of them, and it was not exactly reverse order, but roughly reverse order. It's just third eye open, each one came, and it ended, and I just to be gone with whatever I was doing. No, it just came completely spontaneously, as far as I can tell.
That's great. I mean, I would say that that is a sign of orderliness being brought to these levels of containment, containers, which have a life of their own in a sense, and an intelligence of their own to operate in certain kind of ways. So this thing of all of a sudden these images coming up in reverse order, just spontaneously is showing a growing strength for them to perform tasks for you when you're respecting them, giving them space, and giving them assignments as well, giving them jobs so they can exercise their power. Yay. That's exciting. Keep on.
Rush out of one piece.
Keep hiding your keys. I'm loving that one. Every day I hide my wallet. Yeah, yeah. Had a few moments of panic, but I have like when I stop and I just like act because it's in there somewhere and just give it time and space, like less than 20 seconds, and I've got it. I've never not been able to remember, which is great for me because I have like way too much going on in my mind and in my sheet and my bodies, and so like. Where's that thought? Where's that picture? Oh yeah, there it is. I hid it under the couch.
In a different spot every day.
Oh yeah, it's always a different spot.
Do
You'll
you,
never get bored, Jesse.
I'll never get over it.
Put it in the ship. Put it on
And
the
I've always
ship.
got things to think about lying awake at night.
have you noticed any correlation between not making as strong an imprint when you hide it and not remembering later?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I make sure I'm hiding it in the bowl. I'm hiding in the bowl, and I walk away and I look back and I go, hit it in the bowl. Because our minds are just filled with all these fluffy little thoughts that just float. So we've got to really learn how to concentrate and imprint with meaningful things. Yeah. And the more you do this, then it'll expand into other areas of your life. You'll see that it's a muscle that's going to be utilized for other things than just hiding and finding your keys. Right? Like there's something beyond that to be gained. So yeah, my writing's continuing to flourish. My walking's changing. Yeah. Don't stop doing these exercises. Don't stop suppressing your desires. Anyways, who's next?
I found myself in a very comfortable spot despite, or because of everything, a spot that I didn't want to leave. It was a feeling more than a vision, a feeling of wanting to stay with that. And I knew she's so impatient.
That's huge. Find a new space within yourself, a new quality. So you can go back tonight before you go to bed and review it, feel it, and imprint it again. You know, the more you water these things, the things that you water give the light of attention to, they will grow amongst all the weeds and stuff that's growing in this.
So that's a good point that you might all have some vivid lucid dreams tonight. And so just consider it a bonus journey, maybe before you go to bed. Kind of sit with that intention or whatever came up for you and see if you can go back into it, and then maybe keep a journal next to your bed and like write what comes up in the morning. And yeah, people like experience things in their dreams. Maybe we can write them in the group chat and start to use that more.
Mm-hmm. Group chat is great for these things.
Mhm.
I'll go next. Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie. Not really in a talky mood. I feel like very still and a very non-talky mood. I think it was a powerful journey for me. I don't remember 3/4 of it, but I think maybe that's why it's powerful, is because I was receiving it still. Like as soon as the snakes went up, I like shut off too. When you said that, I was like, me too. It's like I could feel the snakes doing the work, and then I didn't really need to consciously participate in the rest of it. It was like, we're gonna just do it for you, just relax. I felt like it was healing on a deeper level, and I feel a lot of like perhaps heaviness around here kind of lift, like it's still remnants. I've been like dealing with some sinus things this past week or two. There's a lot of tension around here. Yeah, I think, well, there was one thing I remembered before the dog started barking. There was one scene, I still can't like put my finger on it, but it felt like I maybe saw that Anubis, there was like a dog fight scene of some kind, but like I can't quite image it. Like I didn't have anything to write or anything to draw. Like there was blank, but it's that one thing I can't remember. So I'm hoping, like Liz said, is tonight it'll come to me in my dreams.
Mhm.
It's usually what happens. It's like I'll blank out and then it'll come to me later. So I'm hoping that that's what happened. And I wasn't here last week, but I feel like even though I wasn't here, I was on path with the 7 levels of being in that. How do you pronounce it? Kaibit or Kabit?
The Kaibit?
The Kaibit, okay. In the shadow, like I feel like I've been living my shadow this past week, and all the stuff from my childhood, kind of like all the untapped in things that are holding me back from my power. I think that's what has been percolating in me this week, and had some beautiful ways to connect with it and release it. So maybe that's what the snake was doing, going in and just like kind of eating it and clearing it away. So I feel like I'm on track with it all, even though wasn't fully present for that second one.
Yeah, we're connected. We're in this curriculum that you signed on for. So things are going on even when we're not consciously aware. Like the universe is giving us stuff that's pertaining to the curriculum. Found that with Devin, which by the way, she's away for the next couple of weeks. But she was telling me stuff that's happened to her, and I'm going, oh, that's exactly the exercise we're doing. And she goes, oh, I didn't know. Yeah, right on. I didn't realize the universe was giving me the exercise. So it's better when you're doing it consciously, but a lot of the times it's happening naturally because we're connected to this energetic circle.
Well,
I just said quantum entanglement.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll just follow on what Steph and Marco said, because I too went blank after the snakes. I don't recall anything. I didn't even hear the dogs. I didn't hear anything about
I didn't hear
jackals. I didn't hear
I thought
dogs.
you guys were making it up.
So, I think it's, I don't know, I don't have many words to say either, other than that I feel calm. The image I came up with was really just sort of a wide, like this with a void in the middle and just sort of an accepting, and you can't see the yellow that I did up here, but just little tentacles of I don't know, radiance or the blue, when I looked into my cup of the blue lotus with so many beautiful tentacles. So that's a pretty simple message for me, but just to continue to radiate and to just allow it to flow and without any expectation.
Just to address the question, like, where do people go when they lose consciousness? It's actually the other side of the threshold. You're not here because you're somewhere else. And science doesn't acknowledge this, but this is from an esoteric perspective. When we lose consciousness, we are somewhere else that you could say is the unconscious, but it's actually the spiritual world. And so, what we're trying to develop really is the ability to consciously go across the threshold and connect with things that are in the shadow, things that are unconscious, to connect to our power and bring it back consciously to this side of the threshold. So I did this for many years, many times when I was with this clear vision school of meditation. And they called it night practice, where you would lie down and someone would do a guided meditation, such as what Liz was doing. And you'd learn to hover on the threshold so that you could actually kind of fall asleep, but then you'd connect back to the thread of the person's guided meditation, and you'd come back and you'd remember what you experienced on the other side, some sort of vision, some sort of experience, some sort of encounter. But we're not doing this. We're really not that evolved for the most part, where we can actually remember what happens in the night. For example, we fall asleep and we go unconscious, but there's lots going on in the night. And dreams are just kind of a little glimmer of that. It's kind of like a puppet play of things that are going on behind that. So this is the evolutionary path, is to be able to, go unconscious in a way. Like I was thinking of that when Phil was saying, like he was like going out, but then coming back and going out and coming back, like to be able to maintain your awareness. We'll talk more about this in the next couple of weeks, actually, because it ties into death as well. So yeah, trying to maintain that awareness, that awakeness at the threshold.
I'll share next. Thank you. I really enjoyed the visuals and sensations, the snakes doing their job, and I did draw one visual for that. But when I got up to the crown, like just immense heat came in my body, which was really interesting. So I just kind of drew just a quick kind of image of the two snakes. But then when I was on the Nile and Anubis was there, then I lost consciousness. So I'm just trusting Anubis was doing what Anubis needed to do, but I would like to try to explore that tonight as well. I have very lucid, vivid dreams almost every night, but I do have to write them down. Like I'm trying to keep track of them or write them down in the morning, or I find I can often wake up, do something, go back to sleep, then really have those deep kind of astral dreams, which is fun. But you were asking about, I thought, what did I really experience? But you were asking about our intention, and I put a couple of intentions in to the Blue Lotus, and one was to consciously use my words or speak, because I have a couple of instances in my life right now where I need to do that. I've not always been so good at that. And then I pulled the card, the power of the 7 scorpions. And it was about that, right? Taking the poison, the lower consciousness, using my words to be able to transform it into magic. I mean, it was 5-page write-up, so I took pictures of it, so we didn't finish. I mean, Liz reading it to me, but I don't know But it's like, that's kind of what came through in the card. And I know there's more in there. It had to do with a young boy also, which is, I'm going through a lot of stuff with my son right now and almost holding on too tightly and just trusting that whatever will happen is meant to happen. So there's still more to uncover for me when I leave here. So thank you for all of that.
Wow.
That's very interesting. Yeah. Oh, so then I've been having such vivid dreams, almost vivid daydreams. Like I can see things now and hear things now beyond what I was able to do before. But as soon as we came out of it, because as soon as we started talking, I knew I was coming out. And I'm only going to share this because you never know what someone else experienced. But then came this little friend for me. I don't know why. So I'm just putting that out there. It was so vivid. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even draw him with his eyes as big as they were, but what is that?
That was today?
That was right after we woke up. Like that's like my dream state in the morning when I'm in between levels. That's when the vivid imagery comes a lot of the time. So that was interesting. That's why I like going to sleep every night, because it's very exciting.
Would you be able to speak on that anymore? The alien portion of your experience?
Not specifically, but I was listening to some stuff this week that had to do with aliens and
I'll share a week. I found myself really comfortable, like really laying down, drinking tea. Like what you were saying, I'm usually immediately comfortable. I also can't remember much beyond the snakes. Starting to, at one point I got confused. It was supposed to be like 2 at each leg or 1 at each leg would become like so then I stopped trying to figure it out and just let it be just, and then, I was seeing yin and yang spirals, like the snakes. It was like the top view of the snakes would be kind of like that. And that's really it. Not much in the way of visuals that I can describe. But that's not usual. It was a beautiful experience.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, well, I mean, this is all self-knowledge, not only what comes through as message, but also where our level of capacity is, our power or not, and areas to work on, finding appropriate exercises to open up, whether kinesthetic or whether visual and so on.
So to me also and when I do these often like Blue Lotus ceremonies, that for me as well with alchemy, it's like there's 3 components when we're doing alchemical work. There's the substance or the thing that we want to transform, there's the container, and then there's the awareness of it. And we need all 3 parts of that. So it's sort of like, in this case, the substance or the matter is like the tea, but also our own consciousness. And then it's that container, which is the container of the circle and the space that we hold. And then it's the awareness of it. So even if you were consciously there or not, there was this process that was happening within all of us that was allowing that alchemy to occur, of taking something, the snakes eating away what was inside of you and then transforming it into healing, into something else, like helping us find our inner power through that, and simply through the act. Like, it's been so cool to be here, and we're learning every week about this stuff, and there's the teachings, but then there's also the practice of doing that work. So I feel like that's part of what we experienced today, was like going through an alchemical process of that journey of our awareness of the consciousness or the unconsciousness, and then allowing that to transform into something. So it's interesting how even the people that don't remember the journey, you still come out of it being like, I feel different. Like, you still felt that there was some process that occurred through that.
More, but it's important because it is keeping us connected to our power. This is kind of how I want to round off this evening, is talking about how doing this sort of thing is connecting us to our power on the other side of the threshold. It's inward. Our power isn't out there. Our power is inside. And that's going to be one of your home play assignments, is to contemplate, where does your power come from? What gives you power? How do you see your source of power? Or not? Yeah. So what is your source of power? What does it look like for you? And how do you access that power? Or not? Is that something you haven't even thought about? Because a lot of people are just looking for power on the outside. Power is money, or power is the power of attraction, or power is having power over others, domination, and so forth. But we're looking here, at how to open this threshold to a greater reality than just out here and the mundane sense of power. To open the threshold to a greater reality and to a greater access to power.
So is it almost like, because I'm just having difficulty defining power, but I guess is that part of the practice as to what is our definition of power in essence?
That's your home play assignment. Yeah, because people maybe not think about it, or they just, assume the default sense of power. So we'll look at that next week when we come back. The other home play is, of course, on this side of the board, contemplate coagulation, and this idea of the ultima materia, the ultimate material, or the philosopher's stone. And then I have yet another overcoming anxiety disorder practice from Dr. Steiner. This one is interesting because you were doing it yesterday when we were talking. And then I looked at it today and I went, oh, you were doing that. It's to distinguish between what we criticize subjectively and what we criticize objectively. Or when we are criticizing subjectively and when we're criticizing objectively. So, to have that awareness that Liz was just talking about, that self-awareness at when you're criticizing something or when you're formulating an opinion about something, right? Remember you were saying like you were trying to be objective in your opinion and not biased. So to watch yourself and to see, am I just criticizing that or having an opinion that's completely biased and subjective? Or am I being truly objective about this? And humans can get very fudgy around this. So this is a very powerful practice. You're gonna have to watch yourself and really be honest and true. Am I just being subjective? Or is this objective? Well, it'll crystallize your ka, because this is where we're really fudging these bodies, right? And this exercise will nail the ba, the soul, with its personality proclivities and whatnot. It's like, I like this, so I'm going to see it this way. It's everything colored by its likes and dislikes. So it can be very fudgy, this level of the ba. But if the ku is keeping an eye on the ba and saying, be honest, are you biased or unbiased in this? This will get the ba to be less fudgy, and then the ka will have less disorderliness in it. It'll crystallize even more. And then there's less disorder. and then there's less anxiety and depression. This weekend, this weekend,
Oh, yeah.
is going to be another Lofty gathering, but not just another Lofty gathering, because this is kicking off the 10th anniversary celebration of Lofty gatherings here in the Loft, which is going to go for the rest of the year, 2024, because it's been, 10 years since 2014 that I've been doing these monthly things. So yeah, we're gonna have Michael Moon here celebrating his birthday on the full moon. So music, food, fun, fellowship, all the usual stuff. Hope he can make it. If he can't make it, there'll be another one in March, another one in April. The celebrations will continue rolling out. The other thing is finally have things crystallized, coagulated with regards to this resonating Egypt expedition. Devin and I have been working on this. We're teaming up along with a couple of people in Egypt. So we finally figured out the costs and all the details. So the webpage is up, and there's a link in the Lofty offering email that went out today. I can put the link in the WhatsApp thread as well. But yeah, very excited after a lot of work to put that together. So consider if Egypt is calling you to come next September to join Devin and myself and whoever else is going to be on board. It's going to be an exciting time. We've got an exciting itinerary.